us your tips. Pro Group Racing, Daggy and Beaver with you to look forward to Group 1 racing from Doomben, the Doomben Cup, as well as a support program at Rosehill on Saturday. How are you travelling, Beaver?
Yeah, I'm travelling pretty well, mate. Can't complain, mate.
It's a bit like that.
Chugging along.
Yeah, winter's here. It's chilly. It's wet.
Winter's here. It's a bit chilly, mate. I was out on the barbecue earlier, and it was a bit nippy out there.
Yeah, I know. Came in quick. Some nice weather during the afternoon. It hasn't dried.
Yes.
Everything's still wet, so I'm not that optimistic for Rosehill being any good, but still wet and soggy. But at least the sun was out for a little bit. Be nice if it stayed that way for a while. Anyway, cool. All right. Let's talk some racing then. We're kicking off a Doomben tomorrow for rail in the True, and just move on from that. You should see the conversation happen off air. Heavy rail.
Yeah, that's
True.
right.
Rain coming Saturday afternoon at Doomben as well. So, any thoughts on the track? I've got a bit of concern it might collapse by the end of the day. So, it is very wet up there. It doesn't hold up that well.
Yeah, I guess you're probably going to want to be coming down the middle of the track, pending if it starts to chop up the inside and if it is a genuine heavy. But time will tell.
Yeah, sometimes, especially Doomben, is very, very wet and they get rain. It could turn to a bit of a lotto, which is the concern. But we'll find out. We can only do what we can do on a Thursday evening as we're recording. Looking, a bit with you, thinking down the outside, last man standing sort of stuff at Doomben. We kick off with a 1600 metre benchmark 78 to start the day. Thick racing and tricky form lines. A lot of races with form coming from Rockhampton and all over the place. But we're kicking off in the first.
Toowoomba and the likes.
Yeah, so a few feeder meetings, Gold Coast as well. So how we start today? Let's get into it.
Yeah, look, I narrowed it down to 2 in the first. I did end up going with the favourite, the Catch. I thought its first 2 wins this preparation have been pretty good, and absolutely bolted in at Gold Coast first up in on a heavy, won by 6 lengths, and then went to Ipswich up 300 metres and on the soft going and won just as easily, bit only by 2.5. But was pretty convincing in that, and it carried 59. So it drops back to 55 here. Gate 3 should be the right gate, and I think it probably pulls out and it's hard to beat. Probably the main date, and it'll handle this thing out of the ground. Probably the main danger I've got is Ostermeyer, who was also going quite well prior to having a bit of a freshen up here. So it comes back in distance here to the mile. So if they start to struggle towards the end, it could be the one with the powerful finish.
I actually found the same too, believe it or not, but ended up finding a Catch on top. You've covered off that. Well, I think it's won its last 2 by a combined, 10 lengths or something on wet tracks. So I think that all sets up quite well. And I thought, Ostermeyer was a danger. I think that form around Sale and the like up there is okay. 6 weeks off, freshen up, back to a mile. It just stood out like it fit in quite well in this race. So they were the 2 for me as well. So starting the day in the same fashion. Race 2, 1200 metre benchmark 85. This is some trickier times here, or is it? I was with Skins, absolute wet tracker. I had a lot of trials heading into this. I don't know if there's been an issue or whether they're just trying to get it fit. But some big wins on wet tracks here, kicking off last prep. Trial win in its latest trial comes here. I think sets up quite well, a bit of a claim as well. And I thought I might have something, even despite the fact it's coming off 100 to 1 SP. I thought Hilo was pretty good, and maybe even a glimpse of its old form, another wet tracker there. And back to third pick, the Big Goodbye is going pretty well this prep. But Skins for me on top.
Yeah, I had Skins on top as well for the same reasons you did. It goes well first up. Got good form this track and distance, and likes to sting out of the ground. So trialled quite well, finished behind Dr. Zeus, who I think's got a good chance in a race later in the day in a bit better quality than this.
Definitely.
So I've got Skins on top. I did think Mass Destruction was the main danger. This horse has got a really powerful finish. Not sure it does its best in the real heavy, but last start was good. First up, come from tail of the field to flush home. Again, so after finishing off down the middle of the track, it's certainly got a huge chance in this. And the other Van Dyke horse that maybe the best, wasn't great first up, but can improve here.
Yep. Cool. Race 3 is the 2-year-olds. 1,200 metres for the Fillies. A listed race here, Bill Carter Stakes. What's your opinion of these?
Yeah, I think Zugotcha
Have we seen?
going to be very hard
Is
to
it
beat
definitely
here.
out of Sydney? I haven't, just out of interest.
The jockey's not notified in Sydney, so I'm expecting
Cool.
it to run here.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, carry on.
Is my guess. So with McDonald booked in here, I think Zugotch is definitely the horse to beat here, and I've got it clearly on top.
I had it on top too, and I thought I was clever in finding it. And look at the market, and it's probably going to start $2.50, but nice enough win. I think the nice enough win first up. Just got nabbed by a horse who went the outside. Second up, J Max sticks, and I think that all lines up pretty well. She's a belter. Was stuck on the inside last time. Now gets an outside gate. Might be an improver. Third up now. And through the same form like Midnight in Tokyo, but I think the Sydney form might have these covered here. Race 4 is the 1,110 metre Chief De Beers listed race, where you mentioned Dr. Zeus earlier. Massive trial win here. I think goes all right in the wet and might be prime for this. So happy to have a bit of a spec on it here. Where am I as I make my market tick over? Around a $12 mark. I think that's a reasonable each way play. And I thought Needorp might be the other one that you can back each way, and I think it'll give you a sight. They were the two here, and was just going just to the prices on wet tracks. Once you start getting into this meeting, I think there's going to be a few at odds, and I want to have them in my favour, so to speak. It sounds like you found a similar line here.
I did exactly the same.
Oh,
I found exactly the same too. I had Needorp on top, actually just in front of Dr. Zeus. Same reasons as you. I think they both go well first up and fresh, and I liked them at the odds. And they've got good form in good company races. So I just thought Contemptuous at $2.80 was way too short. And I was a bit worried about Joy to All stuck on the inside gate here. So I was looking for the middle of the track, Needorp and Dr. Zeus.
That's scary, Beaver. Hopefully we're on the right page at least.
It is.
As long as they're right, I don't mind that. The Pam O'Neill Stakes comes up next. Race number 5 on the card of Group 3 for the girls. What are you doing here?
Yeah, this was a bit tricky here. I did like April Rain. I'm a bit nervous about the one gate.
100%, yeah.
I'm willing to. That just had me a bit worried, but I'm hoping it just gets off the fence early enough here with McDonald aboard, and I'm gonna. I just saw a vast improvement last start, and I think it's ready to win now. Third up, so I think it's hard to beat. And I had it in top just in front of Salik around the double figure odds. I think it can run a nice race as well.
I thought Zvizna, is that how you pronounce it? Zenifer, however it's pronounced, the 4, Zenifer, beat it with pretty much on its merits last time. I know April Ranger will now be third up and gets JMac, but inside gate. Don't know how well that suits. So at twice the price, I was happy to stick with Zenifer each way. And you mentioned Sleek again. Horse is flying, and a lot of these aren't doing a lot. Horse going quite well. Wide gate goes well in the wet, and again, you're probably going to get around $10 to find out. So, they were the two I was looking at there.
Yeah, April Rain just gets a couple of kilo pull in the weights here, so I think that certainly goes to its favour as well.
Yeah, no, I just saw gate 1. I'll be honest, saw gate 1 and thought, yuck, for thinking it's a horse that needs to get out and wind up. So we'll know how the track's playing definitely by now anyway. So we'll know just how well. And you know what? If it is playing out the outside, you're probably going to get a better price. So maybe not a bad bet. Quaddy kicks off with a BRC sprint over the 1350 Group 3, bringing all these little tries together. Buffalo River on top. Wet Tracker should get close enough to control here. Nice middle gate, and I thought the resumption was okay. Just nabbed late up there, and I just went right away from all the Queensland form, and maybe want a bit more of a price, but have got on top, and it's second up, 1400 meter-ish, easy it's going live. So was happy to be with it from Oscar Zulu, who was just a absolute horror watch at Gosford. Should have been the finish there. And you're getting double figures again for a horse that I would argue would have fought out a finish at Gosford a few weeks back. Just didn't quite know what to do with that Emerald Kingdom lead up, so I just went against it. But for my own sanity, I might end up having something small on Dawn Passage. But yeah, Buffalo River from Oscar Zulu for me, Beaver.
Yeah, Emerald Kingdom, mate. For me, I thought it's a win last start was outstanding. Jumped out and then got stuck on the fence. Looked like it was going to be an absolute moral beating, but somehow the young fella Butler got it a run, and it absolutely launched in the last 50 to get home there behind Apache Chase. Look, I think from the 6th gate gets a perfect draw here. I think you're going to find Buffalo River and Taxu go keep the pace on up front. So I think there'll obviously be some speed on here that'll allow Emerald Kingdom just to sit in behind them. And I really like its chances at double figure odds. I think it can win this race. So I had Emerald Kingdom on top. I think you're right. I think Oscar Zulu has an outstanding chance here. So I had it as my main danger.
Beautiful. Race 7, the Doomben Cup, Group 1 over the 2,000 metres. Do you want to take $1.50, Zaaki?
To win.
Yeah.
You would think. I can't see anything beating it here. Won pretty convincingly last start. Polygray was taking ground off at the end, but Zaaki had switched off well before that. I think it'll be super hard to beat. Polygray's obviously the main danger with the trackers is heavy, but yeah, Zaaki is probably rightly $1.50 against this company. When you think about it, it's the only Group 1 horse in this
100%.
race.
This is, and even the horses that are here that were former Group 1 horses don't handle the wet. So it's there's only like your decision you have later when we get to your quaddy is whether you throw Polygray in as a saver. Other than that, it's it's Zaaki's race.
I mean, if a horse like Winx was in this, it'd be $1.05.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
So $1.50 is not bad, I would say.
Perhaps it is good value. Actually, I think the fact Polygray got so close last time is the only reason it's $1.50.
Correct, 100%.
So we'll leave the other mainstream media to ramble on about how good Zaaki is, and we'll get to the Roses 2,000 meter Group 2 for the 3-year-old fillies. This is an interesting little race here. And what have you done?
Yeah, it is an interesting race here with a few horses coming from all over the place. I settled on Barbrada because I just think it's going fantastic at the moment. It was a huge run at Morphettville. Just kept finding. Can put a bit of a line through the Group 1 start before that at Randwick. Was long odds in the market. It was, super heavy that day. But prior to that, its form was pretty good down in Melbourne. Won a Group 2 down there, beating Argentia. I think it'll be hard to beat here. I think $4.50 is probably a reasonably good price. My challenge was I was looking to try and find a danger, and I just thought, there was probably 4 or 5 chances that looked like they could knock it off, but I couldn't really find one that stood out to me as a next best danger. So that's why I kind of had it clearly on top.
I've got it on top too. Funnily enough, it comes. I think it's a bit. Put it this way, it's the best horse. It has put in some performances in some good races. I know they blame the conditions in the wet at Randwick, but that was the heaviest track I think they've had at Randwick in forever. Which it could be here, but I still think this lines up really well here in terms of competition. I went looking for the other Melbourne horse, Belle Savoie, who comes here. I know it's coming out of weaker stuff, but at least it's fresh blood and handles the wet. And there's a bit of gap here. I might have something or throw Taranga into the quaddie, just lightly raced. Chasing Canadian Dancer last time out up in distance and gets through the wet pretty well, and is probably going to be 20 to 1 on a day. So they were the three I was looking at, and that's about it. Yeah, I like you said, there's not much else beyond that I want to dive into. So again, we found the same horse, and again, we might just move on. Wrap up the day with the Derby Mccarthy 1110 meters again, 3-year-old set weight race, where I've got on top the top weight, Kalishnikov, coming up here from the Snowden stable. It's been gelded, won the Black Opal, didn't do much in the Golden Slipper, sent up to Lee Freedman. It was only a 3-horse trial, but it bolted in a trial set up for this. And at the price, it might be the best horse, and it might look like a good price down the road. So happy to find out again around the $9 mark. I was giving Miss Hipster a chance here. She was generally pretty honest, and these sort of races fit. But Andrew Ubiquitous beat Miss Hipster home last time, so they sort of fit here. But I was happy to get, like I said, mainly happy to find out at the price in a tricky race late in the day. What were you thinking here?
Yeah, I had the same. I had Kalishnikov as well. Right. I thought the price was quite good. I liked the trial. It's running some pretty decent races.
Doesn't it just stand out here the more you think about it?
It does just stand out here the more I think about it. I just like the trial, and they have a bit of opinion of it, I think. So I had Kalishnikov on top. Just thought the price was good. I thought the main danger was Ubiquitous. I think it probably handles the conditions the best given most recent form. So it could be the hardest to beat.
Beautiful. A scarily similar look through the Doomben card there. Do you want to give us your Queensland quaddie on the afternoon, if you've prepared that for us?
I have prepared that for us, mate. So my quaddie app at Doomben is number 2, Emerald Kingdom, number 3, Soxagon, number 4, Buffalo River, and number 8, Oscar Zulu.
Beautiful.
My next leg is number 1, Zaaki. I'm going to go one out there.
Yep.
In the next leg, I'm going to go number 1, Bar Braider, number 2, Biscayne Bay, number 6, Stalking, number 10, Chico Lake, and number 11, Smirk.
Yep. And how are we coming home?
And we're going to come home with number 1, Kalishnikov, number 2, Ubiquitous, number 6, Hamlet von Schnitzel, number 9, Devastating, and number 12, Miss Hipster.
I like it. I like the quality numbers there. And for progretracing.com.au, of course, check them out. Sign up to the mailing list to get our tips twice a week, every week, as well as plenty more news and opinion on that site. Your best in value.
My best comes up in race 3, number 4, Zugotcha. And my value bet comes up in race 6, number 2, Emerald Kingdom.
Beautiful. I'm going to make my best in the first. I'm going to make it the catch. I think it will get in early there, and we'll top and tail it in the last race, 9, number 1, Kalishnikov, around a $9 mark, I think is good value on the card. The support program, we head down to Rosehill, where it is wet again, currently a heavy 8. Rail back in the true, doesn't feel like particularly good drying conditions. So thinking it stays heavy, and rain's coming, I believe. Is that right, Beaver?
Yeah, there's a bit of predicted rain, so
yeah, hopefully
have to watch out for that.
watch out for the rain in the afternoon. But until then, I'm thinking Rosehill, wet rail true. We're going to be in the running line, swooping by the end of the day. Probably not as extreme as Randwick, but at least coming down the outside. We kick off with the 2-year-olds in the 1200 metres, again on the assumption a little bit that Zaaki is coming out. What are you doing to start the day here?
Yeah, on the basis of that, I'm going to go for the first starter, Hawaii 5-0, from the Freedman stable.
Yeah, stable going all
Thought his
right
trials
since
were
they've,
okay. Yep,
keep going, sorry.
going all right. Ran in a trial 3 lengths behind Baroque Road that came out yesterday and absolutely brained him. Looked like a pretty good horse. So that trial
Just on
form
that,
looks
sorry to butt in
okay.
again. Both those 2-year-olds look pretty good. Koshu and Baroque
Looked
Road
very
look both
good.
impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I think Hawaii 5-0 might be the hardest to beat in a pretty open event. In danger, maybe our old mate Vinny Spirit.
Out. I'm going to go with the O Tycoon starting. Trialled up. All its trials have been quite nice here for Bjorn. Currently around the $4, but if we have a third of this mark come out, it might end up starting quite short. Should get control here based off its trials and off the Racing New South Wales maps. And I think we'll run well. You've mentioned Hawaii 5-0 and one at a big price that we back and possibly last, and maybe I'm 2 runs too early. But Poga Car's been okay for a while of trials, and I thought around the 30s might have a small spec there. More I looked at that Shalailed stuff, I was against it before it won last time, and even its win, I didn't think it was that impressive, so I was happy to take on that and look elsewhere. Race 2, the Highway, usual suspects here. I haven't really flown through it here, but Hardware Lane was good last start, Beaver.
Yeah, it was good last start. I think that last start and was very impressive at Hawkesbury. I think it can run well again here, and I've got it on top.
Cool, nothing more to add. Race 3 is the Schweppes Handicap benchmark 72 over the 1500 meters, where I thought there was only, the market sort of says the same, but I thought there's only 2 chances here, and hopefully we'll have an opinion of how the track's playing. But Rangitoa will lead them up, and I think Elusive Jewel will be the first chaser. The market says the same thing. I'm thinking Elusive Jewel might just get last crack here on the wetter track and might be able to snipe the leader. But I'm not telling you the market isn't. Did you have any opinion on anything else here?
Yeah, I just Rangitoa. I thought its first up win was good. Scratch for last start. Here for this. Soft track suits and probably leads and hard to run now.
Race 4 is a 1400 meter Midway handicap. Again, the benchmark 72. Deep race. Who do you find on top?
Oh, look, I just couldn't find anything here. Just a race I just want to stay clear of.
No, that's fine. I've got Media Starguest on top, actually, around $11. Back and wide at Canterbury, hit the line okay. Widest gate again, so knowing the stable very back as well, but that might set up not too bad on this track. It's around a $11 or $12 mark. I think it might be able to come down the outside from Bazooka, who is in the weakest race. It's been in for a long time, but is drawn gate 1 now, and trialled okay for this. But tricky race. Maybe something, yeah, Media Starguest at double figures is the way I'd want to play that one, basically. But yeah, not charging into that race with any great confidence. Canadian Club Handicap, 2,000 meters, benchmark 72 yet again. Typical winter racing here at Rosehill. What are you doing in this one?
Yeah, I've gone for Awesome Wonder. The Irish Star had its first start in Wyong back in late April and won quite nicely. Finished off nicely over the 1,600 metres. Gets out to the 2,000 here, so I think it'll be further suited here, even fitter. This isn't a tough affair. I think Awesome Wonders on top.
Beautiful. I might just get you to just double check your mic there too, Beaver, just to see if that's plugged in properly. Bit crackly, but I found it on top as well. Awesome Wonder. Nice win at Wyong. Came from back. It drawn to do the same here. Stable going pretty well. Tommy Berry, one of the go-to riders on the card, and is an each way price for now. Really struggled to find much else. Next pick for me was. Now I can hear me. Next pick for me was Aravine, who's around the 550 and at least one last start. So we'll see how we go with that. Next is benchmark 78 again, which sees, as I just refresh my screen, short price favourite Dynasties come here. I think the form around it stacks up pretty well. It is a 3-year-old taking on the older horses, which is the only concern. Otherwise, I'd be a little bit keener. But and we'll get some of the form up in Queensland throughout the afternoon, so we'll have an idea by now just where that fits. On top though, from Daiquiri, who up in distance second up suits, gets Bowman, and Oceanic Flash, who's honest, and now up in distance as well, suits too. So they were the main three for me. If Zing ends up in this race, which I think it's also accepted elsewhere, it'll be next best. What were your thoughts here?
Yeah, I've got Dynasties on top. My only concern was not the class rise, was the weight, 59.5. Under these conditions, it's weighted up to its best, but it looks to be going better than any of these. It was very good last start, and it's, beat home Gypsy Goddess, and then prior to that, ran a nice race behind Espiona. I think that's good enough to win this race, and I've got it on top.
Yeah, cool. Feature on the card is the listed Lord Mayor's Cup over the 2,000 metres, where I thought I was, again, being clever, finding Bethencourt coming here off perhaps some weaker stuff, but it's come up as favourite. But I think it's going to bounce straight to the front. It's going to do what it's done the last two starts, roll along, and be very hard to get past, because a lot of these are just making up the numbers. Clearly on top from Elias, who went to Wagga and won, but was building in town okay before that. And I think this would probably be one of its targets for it here. So they are the main two, and the only two I really wanted to talk about. What do you think?
Yeah, same with me. They're the only two that I really wanted to talk about, but I thought Bethencourt as well. Started around the right same way as you, jumps in front. I think 53 kilos is just a featherweight for it. It's dropping 7 kilos on last start. Loves these conditions. If they're getting off the fence and it jumps to the front and just gets off the fence down the middle of the track, they're just going to find hard to plug away and run this horse down. I'm expecting probably to be on pace suiting at Rosehill. Bethencourt for me.
Absolutely. Race 8, as we're in step again. Hopefully great minds do think alike in our case, but race 8 is a benchmark 78, where I was keen on the resuming Irish Angel here. Trial was good, gets Bowman, flies first up, gets through the wet, and it's $8. Just lots of ticks for me here. From Selberose, the other Waller runner, who just feels a little bit forgotten here at $18 and resumed okay. Up in distance, second up again, suits here. I think Irish Angel's a great bet. What do you think?
I certainly had it as one of my two selections. I actually went for Lady of Luxury, resuming here just in front of Irish Angel. It goes well under these conditions as well. Handles this thing out of the ground. Hasn't missed a place first up. Trials were okay. It's the top weight. So best horse in the race potentially. Its last start before it went out for a spell was behind Snap Dancer. Gold Coast started $7.50 in that race and led them up. And prior to that one the race at Gold Coast. So I think it can run really well.
Yep, beautiful. And we don't wrap up the day. Race 9 comes up next. Benchmark 88 over the 1,500 meters. What have you done here?
Yeah, I've got Quintello on top here. Probably quite well drawn here. Was outstanding last start. Come from Mornington, blue in the betting. We tipped it blue in the betting out to $3.50, $4. And just won like a good thing. Expect it to be super hard to do again.
Yep, not much more to add. It clearly on top, third up, still a bit in the tank, right part of the track. I think it will win this race. And we wrap up the day with a benchmark 78 over the 1500 meters, where I'm going to mention Rainbow Connection again. If it turns up, it'll be very hard to beat, but I've been saying that for a month now. And from, well, I couldn't really find a lot else here. He's a Hot Shot's a chance. Skywolf's okay, but coming from Melbourne midweek to this, not overly enthused. I think the only bet I will have here is if Rainbow does turn up. Otherwise, I might just sorry, the other one I will mention, and I will mention my quaddy as well when I get to it. But El Buna was another chance fresh, and Bowman Waller, but I might be watching the footy by this time as the day, Beaver.
Yeah, I know it down similarly to 2. I had Rainbow Connection on top as well. If it comes and starts here, the trials have been good. Form prior to this last preparation was very good in some good listed quality races. Finished third behind Ellsberg and second behind Exeter. That's good enough to win this for me. So it's super hard to beat. And the main danger, Albuna, you're right, mixes its form, but on its day can run well, and its last start trial was a nice little trial.
Beautiful. Rail McQuire, Rosehill quaddy, I should say. On Lord Mayor's Cup Day, I'll go with 1, So You Win, 3, Elias, 8, Irish Fecal, and 11, Bethencourt. A lot of these Waller horses probably get scratched by the time we get there, but anyway. Ray, second leg, 1, Lady of Luxury, 3, Irish Angel, 7, Selba Rose, 13, Sunborn, 16, Bitcoin Baby. Next leg, 3, Surf Dancer, 7, Solar Apex, 13, Quintello, and 17, Mac Schnell. And home with 2, Rainbow Connection, assuming it's here, 7, He's a Hot Shot, 10, El Buena, 12, Game Theory, and 13, Sky Wolf. Your best in value for Pro Group Racing?
Yeah, my best bet of the day comes up in race 9, number 13, Quintello.
Yep.
And my value bet of the day comes up in race number 5, number 14, Awesome Wonder. But also, my other best bet is Jockey Challenge, Tommy Berry. If you're having a look in any Jockey Challenge, Tommy Berry.
Yeah, nice. You've got a price?
No, I don't.
No, they might not put him up till Saturday anyway. No, fair.
Yes.
Well, there's only 2 you'd look for. It's him or Bowman, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, that's right.
So, very good, Beaver. My best, I'll make it Irish Angel. I think it's going to run really well. And my value on a day I struggle to really stamp a lot, Media Starguest at double figures will give you a bit of a sight in the Midway, I suggest. We've got the Group 1 Goodwood from Morfordville. I haven't had a chance to really go over the field. Have you checked it out?
I haven't spent too much time on Morfordville yet, mate. I did have a quick look at Moonee Valley, but
Yeah, let's go there. No, that's
the
right.
Goodwood looks like a good race. The Goodwood, plenty of chances, always an open race. Have to sit and do the form a bit better
No,
there.
that's
But
fine.
interesting
Send you
field.
socials. I thought Saver to Excel was a nice resumption, but same as you, I haven't gone and pulled that race apart yet. It's interesting to see how Extreme Warrior stacks up over there. What have you got at Flemington?
Just let me grab up my numbers. Flemington, I think most of my bets that I liked came up later in the day. They did. Race 5, number 5, Star Patrol. Be odds on, but will be hard to beat. And then a few with a little bit of value. Race 6, number 14, Worthily. Race 7, number 9, Front Page. And then I think race 8, number 13, Chuavalu. Should be hard to beat.
Beautiful. Some nice
Tuvalu,
finds there. Very good, Beaver. Good job again. Good punting this weekend. And we'll chat over the weekend, no doubt. But good Good luck, everyone, punters, and we'll talk to everyone Tuesday night for our midweek preview. Of course, go and check out progretracing.com.au, as well as subscribe to their mailing list and our YouTube channel for these updates twice a week. Good punting, guys.